Well, Tony, if I may talk about Newport in just a second, but the context of the week has changed by probably what must be one of your best results as Boro manager.
Yeah, we did well. It was a good result. I think we've played well on the road a lot of times this year. You know, it's been our own form really that's been the disappointment, and that's something that we have to improve. But it was a good result. Pleased that you know, the players kept at it, kept going, and yeah, it's a great 3 points.
And always the conundrum with Richard Sombalonga, is he an impact player or do you start with him? It's always one of those questions, isn't it?
I think you start with him every week if he plays at that level, and that's what, you know, we want. You know, everybody, you know, there's no, you know, I've got a favourite here, I've got a favourite there. That never comes into managers. I don't think any managers do that. I think it's just getting the best out of the players in respect of the team. And you know, Britt's 2 goals were fantastic. We're really pleased. The goal against Birmingham, where he came off the bench as well, was a great goal. So you know, he doesn't. I don't think he wants to be looked on as an impact player who will come on when the game's you know, a little bit more stretched, and you know, people have run out of a little bit of steam. You know, the boy wants to play and wants to start. So to do that, he's got to be up to speed right from the start.
This is a massive week for the club. You obviously beat West Brom, then you've got Leeds coming up, like a sort of Yorkshire derby, and then this Newport game slap bang in the middle. How do you regard that as an unwelcome distraction, or do you look at the incentive of a Man City in the next round?
No, the game's there, so we've got to play a game and we've got to win a game of football. That's all I think about. You know, the next game, which is Newport, we know it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, Spurs and Leicester have gone there, and they haven't won. They haven't won there. So that says everything about, you know, the spirit that Newport have got in the team, about the stadium, and about everything else. You know, it's a proper old-fashioned cup tie.
And one of the biggest games in the club's history. If they can beat you, so they couldn't have more of an incentive, really, can they? No,
everybody will be at it tomorrow. It'll be a tough game, and one that we've got to make sure we go there and understand.
It's going to be a difficult squad for you to select, given the Leeds game at the weekend.
Well, it's a run of games. You know, it's unfortunate really that, you know, the FA Cup is placed in between so many important games. But that's the way the fixtures go now, and that's the, you know, if you actually look at it, you know, the FA Cup is, you've got the Premier League, you've got the, you know, Champions League, and most probably the FA Cup just drops in below that. So, you know, it's third choice in lots of respects when they come to doing fixtures, and it's sad really, because it's, I think, still the greatest cup competition in the world.
And even though it's sort of David versus Goliath, your away form has been good, so that should give you some encouragement.
As I've just said, I'm not so sure it's the David and Goliath, because they've played 2 Premier League clubs there and not been beaten. So I think we've got to give them a little bit more respect than that.
And in terms of, it's perhaps a shame that there is another game coming a few days after, so you perhaps can't savour that, what we would regard as neutrals, is the sort of the emotional return for you going back to Newport.
No, I don't think people recognise and realise that once the game, you know, we played West Brom on Saturday, once we finished that game, you know, it was all hands to the pump now, thinking about Newport and what we were going to do against Newport. When we play the Newport game, win, lose or draw, it'll be the Leeds game, and then it'll be the Sheffield United game, and it goes on. It doesn't stop. You clear your mind and you get on with the next one. And, you know, there's no pampering around and tapping each other on the shoulder and on the back. You know, that game has gone now. It's on to the next one.
And your upbringing in Newport, you did allude to it before, the home tie. I mean, in what way do you think that shaped you as a manager, the manager you are now?
I think the area I was brought up in, which is on the other side of the river than what the ground is, was a fantastic area to be brought up in. You know, it was a community. It was just a wonderful place to feel and be part of a community. You know, there was obviously the docks was vibrant. Steelworks down there. Everything was going on. Cattle market, wood yards. You know, it was just. You know, everybody was, you know, was busy making a living and bringing families up, and they were in that time big families. So you know, you were brought up, and your family were brought up. We had 6. You know, there was the Joneses down the road who had 6, and you know, it just went on. Everybody was together. You run out of some milk, and the shop was shut. You knocked next door, and they gave you some milk. and then you paid them back the next day. Everybody looked after everybody. It was a fantastic community.
Tony, I know the previous leg of this fixture, you said that you had lots of friends and family coming up. Will you have as many at the ground for the tie this time around?
Yeah, most probably more who'll be there. There's more phone calls and everything. I've run out of tickets, so I can't give any more away. But you know, it's more about the game than anything. As soon as that whistle goes, it's more about the game. It's more about our team trying to get the win as much as anything else.
Can you enjoy it at all?
Well, I enjoyed Saturday for, like I say, a couple of hours, and then we're on the bus driving back, and I'm looking at the video of Newport again. So, and that's what we've done for the last. We were in yesterday. We're just looking at what the state of the pitch, the conditions, and everything else. Keep your eye on the weather and see what the weather conditions are like. Yeah, we know it's going to be tough.
I know last week you called on supporters to really rally round and stick together, and you said you'd had a conversation with your coach and staff. You've gone to the pub on deadline day. You'll have since spoken to the players about the disappointment at the end of the window. How was it taken? I mean, I guess the result sort of shows.
Well, we won 3-2. Yeah. No, they were fine. No, everybody knows what we've got to do. Everybody understands where we are. And it's, as I said after the game, all the speculation, all the stuff that surrounds transfer windows today has been washed away. And everybody who's at this football club now contracted to this football club. So roll their sleeves up and do the best, give everything they possibly can for the team and for the club and for the supporters.
I guess that result as well, you must have looked at it and gone, maybe January wasn't that bad in the end?
Listen, you're dealing, and we are dealing in a world where everybody has an opinion. Negativity is much more productive in selling things than positivity. And I understand that. I'm very old in the tooth, and you take it and you get on with it. But this group of players haven't done too bad.
Great, thanks, Tony.
I'm doubling up.
Oh, you? Yeah.
You mentioned after the game, Britta Sombalonga needs to kick on now. Is that you sort of doing a personal challenge for him?
No, not at all. I'm personal challenges. The players are very, very fortunate people. They've got, and sometimes they forget that because they live in such a bubble. There's a tough world out there, and I've just reading about Nissan and the situation not so far away from this town. The players are very, very, very fortunate, and they've got to understand, and you try and make them understand that they've got this for, 10, 11 years, and they should make the most of it. Most of them will be won't have to work after their careers are over. They'll be set for their lives, and they should respect what they've been given. They've been given God-given talents, and they've been very, very fortunate.
As for the game tomorrow night, Rodney Parade is a ground I assume you know really well. Are you expecting a bit of a hot atmosphere?
When I was a really young lad, I think I went and watched the All Blacks there on a Tuesday afternoon. So it was a rugby ground. It wasn't a football ground then.
Right. And as for Newport, are you looking forward to going back though?
Oh, I won't see it. We're flying down. I'll stay in a hotel room for an hour. I'll go to the game, and we're flying straight back because we have Leeds on the Saturday morning. So, I won't be going out and having a drink and going over here and doing this and doing that. I won't even see, the place I was brought up in. I haven't got time to do that. My life is absolutely fixed on trying to get the best results I possibly can for this football club, to try and get the best preparation. As soon as the game finishes, the preparation then for Leeds is vital.
And you mentioned giving them a lot of respect as well. The FA Cup can draw up all sorts of results, really, can't it?
As I've said, you look at the game against Leicester and the game against Tottenham. I don't think that it's that David and Goliath. I think they've been there now and done it against teams in the Premiership, not just the Championship. So we know it's a tough game.
And just finally, any sort of injury worries or selection difficulties?
One or two little knocks. I think Wingy's a little bit, Lewis has been playing with a little bit of a tight groin the last couple of games. So we'll see what they're like. He's in early today, so we'll have a look. One or two little knocks and niggles. Whether it keeps him out of selection or not, I'll wait and see.